All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for tuning into the Rich CELENZA show. And this may be a crazy title. Not sure if I'm going to use it or not, but it's Look Forward to the Rejection. And that may sound crazy to a lot of people or sound negative. I think a lot of people, when you seem to bring up the word rejection, I think a lot of times people panic. And I'll tell you this, when I was younger, I did too. But after going through the film industry or trying to break into the film industry as an independent filmmaker, all I dealt with was rejection. And believe me, it made me crazy for a very long time. Because when you get rejected, I'm not even talking a few times or a few hundred. I'm talking thousands of times, okay? I don't care if it was your screenplay you were pitching first. I don't care if you're looking for distribution for your film, attaching talent. The list, it just goes on and on and on. And, when I went to go write my books, I really, publisher or not, I didn't give a shit, to be very honest with you. I reached out on my first book for some publishing, a bunch of publishing companies, and even my second a little bit, just certain ones I wanted to get a feedback. But I really was interested in only doing ebooks and having total control. But as time went on, I realized one thing about me is that now, I guess you could say, or for the last 10 years, I really was really comfortable handling rejection. I talk a lot about it in my book, Wingman, when it comes to relationships with men, understanding that most likely, if you're going after certain things, especially women, you're going to get rejected. I don't care who you are in life. You're going to get rejected usually throughout your life regarding many, many things. No one goes unscathed. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire or a billionaire. Things don't always go your way in life. But I will tell you this much too. When it kind of back to looking forward to rejection, like I'm getting ready to send out some stuff, I'll just use for an example, regarding sponsors, advertisers, possibly for my podcast and YouTube page that conform. Because I got to start making some bread like anybody else. And I've been working on template emails and things in that nature. And most likely, I'm going to get rejected, by a lot of people and companies. That doesn't mean I'm negative or I got to, sit here and think positive and think, oh my God, if I send out this amount, I'm going to get this type of reaction. No, I know emotionally what I'm going to have to go through, which is I'm used to it. Actually, I look forward to it. Here's the thing with rejection. If people even communicate with you, that's not rejection. I know that sounds crazy. If somebody replies back and says, listen, I'm not interested, but thanks for sending this out, that's a start. That's a beginning of a conversation, possibly. They may have rejected you now because it may not be that good, or it may not be the right time. At least they responded. Now, I know a lot of times, too, you may reach out to people and you get ghosted. That's life. Most likely you don't even realize it, how many people you've rejected over your, throughout your life. I don't mean relationships. I just mean people that may have been trying to sell you something. It could be an email. It could be a text. It could be you're walking in the mall in the middle of somebody's trying to sell you something. Your friends, family members, colleagues, they change businesses or companies and they want you to go, sign up with them for health insurance or whatever the case may be. You reject them. Life really is about, being rejected and kind of rejecting others, because that's, if everyone did what everybody else was kind of wanting them to do, for one, we'd probably all be broke, but how would we do that? So that's kind of how I look at, life in general regarding rejection. It's kind of a starting point, no matter what. But if you don't get over the fear of rejection, and I teach this a lot in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, if you say you want to meet a woman or you want to do something, if you're afraid of the rejection, you never go after it, how are you really going to get anything accomplished to a certain degree? Things aren't always going to go your way. You have to realize that in your life. And having to be able to deal with rejection and building up literally a tolerance for it. I know that sounds crazy. Now, don't think that, like, if I get rejected regarding certain things, I don't feel it. Of course I do. But how do I react when I do deal with it? Does it make me quit? Right? Does it make me just fly off the handle and ruin my day? And then I ruin other people's day? And then I feel like a loser? Sure, at times I'll tell you the truth. Certain times in my life, I certainly believe like I have accomplished a lot of things in my life. And sometimes I look back at it and go, holy shit, wow, you did a lot. My buddy once said, man, you move mountains. That's what he used to say. He's like, you ain't messing around. When you do something, and I used to be like, wow, that's very nice of you to say to me. Did I succeed a lot of times at the level that I wanted to succeed? No. Okay. Was that because other people rejected me? I don't think so at the very end. Because I think my talent or what I do took me to where I needed to be as far as I could go. Because then I think what happens with me, and I really learn this with my YouTube and podcast right now, I put in as much as I want to put in, and I do as much as I want to do. If I said, okay, I'm going to now take it to the next level and spend a lot more money doing certain things, say regarding my YouTube and podcast, maybe I would, and it was at another level, then I think maybe I would get less, say, rejections. I do, to a certain degree. But at the other end, that's not me. I want it to be a certain way. I want it to look a certain way, and I'm always evolving and changing. I'm horrible at trying to put myself into a box. That's why if you follow anything I do, one minute I'll be doing a podcast with myself, the next minute I could have a co-host with me, then the next minute I'm interviewing people on Zoom. I kind of go with my feelings and my instincts more than anything else. Same with my YouTube. I don't box myself in and say, hey, I'm just a guy who does workout things. Hey, I'm just a guy who's a foodie. Hey, no, now I'm a guy who's just about mastering self-confidence. Hey, now I'm just about fashion. No. I'm all over the place, which I know confuses people. So when I say back to sponsors or advertisers, they're going to be like, hey, dude, I don't know. I could see it, and most likely it's going to happen because that would be me on the other end saying, hey, if you want me to, what are you about? You're kind of confusing me. Because a lot of life, if you think about it, when you're doing something or going after it, imagine you coming to yourself with that same type of pitch. And a lot of times I think we don't think about it like that. We just think we have the golden nugget and we either want investors or we want to get something from someone else that can help us take us to the next level and all these things. But if you looked at it from the other perspective, somebody was coming to you with the same type of situation, how much can you help them? Right? You just sometimes have to look at things not just one way, I guess you could say. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, and I talk about that in my book, Wingman and Mastering Self-Confidence, when it comes to, you may have had a lot of problems, let's say, or you didn't have confidence to meet a lot of women. And I talk about how you have to first build relationships and friendships with women. It's not just about, going out, asking them out, getting rejected, moving on, whatever the case may be. If you can't seem to meet women or the ones you kind of like, there's a problem there. But when you do start to build relationships with women and friendships, you may be on the other side of this where they start coming to you and asking you out. And here's the deal. You're not interested in them. Now you know what it feels like to kind of reject them a lot of times the way women feel, or go through rejecting men. When you're on the side of rejection or rejecting people, it's not easy. I've been there too. Even making my films, you're casting a lot of, I'll use that for an example, you're looking for certain type of actors and actresses and certain people. And I always try to use them even as extras and stuff, but a lot weren't that good, and you have to reject them. Not only that, I remember I would do certain scenes and stuff in my film, and then I would cut them entirely out of the film, and they would come to the premiere, or they would see the film, and they saw they were cut out. And I'm just using that for an example, and it's not easy, man. So you got to realize, too, a lot of times when you are going after certain things, for one reason or another, they may be rejecting you, but it's not easy on them either sometimes, because you may not believe it. They may like what you're doing. They may like who you are. Again, they may not have the budget. It just may not be the time, but don't take all this shit so personal. I'm telling you, it's a killer. So I just thought I would do a podcast on that, but please, everyone deals with rejection in their own way, but I'm here to tell you, if you kind of understand it before you kind of even go after it a little bit and understand that this is going to happen, most likely a lot of, when you're famous or you get a ton of money and you're in a different leverage point, then you're going to be, not probably dealing with rejection the way you are at the beginning when you don't have as much. So you have to understand that's a reality, at least in my opinion. All right, if you get a chance, you definitely might want to check out my Mastering Self-Confidence program if you want. It's masteringselfconfidence.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you want to check those videos videos out as well. All right, take care, and I wish you the best.